Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Power, Book 2 Ghosts, Episode 8, Family First. Let's get into it. So before we get started, man, subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, leave a comment after the video. But most importantly, like it, subscribe to the channel. Let's build the channel. So this episode 8, it starts off with 2-Bit, the return of 2-Bit. He's visiting Spanky's mom, played by Lunell. That was dope. They gave her a shot role, the comedian Lunell, and played as her mom. She pretty much said that she heard that they said if Spanky snitched, and he pretty much was like, the person who I heard said that, I pretty much finished him, and he gave her some money, and so his goal is now to seek out Tariq. Don't really know how he knows Tariq's at Stanfield and all that, but that's a gray area right there. But he's going to seek Tariq and to get some money. Meanwhile, this is homecoming week. Zeke, his whole situation is his return to the basketball. Scouts is there. He goes see Professor Carey. She pretty much telling him like, listen here, you can't show up like this or whatever. We gotta keep it on the low. He got anxiety because the NBA scouts is gonna be there. It's a televised game. So, she say some words of encouragement. And then you have Professor Jabari, where he met with the publisher guy and talking about his deal, and they said the publishers pretty much want to know how it's going to end, and he doesn't know. So they want to sell a story. He's basing this whole book off of Tariq's life. So he's pretty much, he still thinks that Tariq is smashing Professor Carey. So he's stalking Tariq, and in the process of stalking Tariq, he followed Tariq where he met up with Drew, and they got to talking about the app and everything and how they was transporting. So he got some information on that. You have Effie who shows up, and then her and Tariq has a heart to heart, and he kind of blew her off at first. Basically, like, she shows up because his school, the school she go to, is playing his school, and so she's showing up to clean up and for some product, to sell product on campus, and she wanted the ins and the outs. And so he pretty much blew her off, like, shoot the breeze. I don't want nothing to do with you or whatever. So she left. But then he called his mom. His mom, pretty much, he asked her, how can I deal with, somebody I don't trust? And she was like, well, when your dad did whatever he did with me, I didn't trust him no more. The best thing you could do is make them trust you. And he asked her, did it work? And she said, yep. She smiled. And so then he will Effie back in and pretty much told Effie, like, what I'm saying, he came out clean with her, and she was like, he told her he really liked her. And then finally the boy Tariq hit them cheeks. He hit them cheeks. He finally got his first score. No, I think he got a score way back in when with Kanan and them. So I can't really say that, but his first score on Power Book 2 Ghost. So we would think it might have been Diana or Lauren, and it's Effie. And then earlier they did like a interview with Courtney Kemp, and she had said Tariq got a triangle, and she said basically he got 3 females that he's involved with. One that's totally wrong for him, one that's exactly right for him, and then one that's I guess in between, in a sense. So we got to figure out which one is which, you know what I'm saying? And so you could comment and which one you think is which with that scenario. But nevertheless, back to the episode. King with the GTG boys, they had a dress one of their goons up, minions, dressed up as he was at Stanfield, had the colors on for him to go and kill Tariq. And so instantly when he shows up to school, Tariq is like uh, waiting for 2-Bit, because 2-Bit pretty much was like, you owe me some money. And so when you see in the trailer when Tariq went into visit his lawyer, he was asking his lawyer for some money. The lawyer pretty much blew him off. And so he had to get with Effie to make the money so he could pay 2-Bit. So he pretty much told 2-Bit, I got the money, come up to the school. So when he's sitting at the front, he see this dude coming through, but he see it's a red tape underneath the dude's sneaker. Pretty much that's where he kept his shank or whatever. So when he got through, Tariq was watching him, and so he came back and sat down, and he was sitting next to Monet, Diana, Drew, and Kane. And Kane already was looking suspicious, like, and so Tariq pretty much like, I gotta go to the concession stand. Did y'all want anything? And Diana was like, I want a water. Monet and Drew said they ain't want nothing. And then Kane was like, yeah, bring me some nachos. And he said something else. So Tariq left, and he told 2-Bit, meet me in the pool area or whatever. Now, how 2-Bit knows where the pool area and all that, that's the gray area, you know what I'm saying? So we don't pay attention to that. But nevertheless, when he's coming out, he see the dude that's dressed up in the Stanfield stuff following him. So Tariq started running, and dude is taking off running. And so Tariq goes into the pool area and then picks up like a pool pole and starts swinging it at the dude. They was fighting, got to scuffling. Dude punched Tariq on the ground, and right when dude had the knife like pressing it down on Tariq, 2-Bit came in and bashed him in the head and knocked the dude out, then put him in the water to drown him or whatever. So at this moment, 2-Bit and Tariq have a back and forth, and then Tariq took the dude's bag and took his phone, and there was a message on there, did you kill him? And 2-Bit responded saying yup, and took a picture of him and drowned in the pool, but you wouldn't, on their end, they wouldn't know who it is or whatever. So 2-Bit told Tariq he would just get out of here or whatever, but he told Tariq, make sure you clean up everything you touch. So Tariq knows a lot of the game, but not all of the game. So these little errors and steps, he ain't got the full package yet. So when I see this moment with 2-Bit, it looks like when you was thinking, well, Tariq needs some muscle out here. And I think this is where 2-Bit comes in. Or they're going to link 2-Bit with Tommy, but I think it's better suited the way this is playing out, where 2-Bit is going to be, he can start to become Tariq's muscle or whatever. So who knows? But nevertheless, that's what took place. He gave 2-Bit the money, and then now 2-Bit said, now it's double, because pretty much, everything I just did. So he want more money. He's now extorting Tariq in a sense. So Tariq came back to the game. Kane looking like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he had a picture of what Tariq sent, but he don't know it's Tariq who got the phone or whatever. So he thought it was Tariq that was the one that got killed, but it was the Boom Bars. So Kane stepped off and basically called the phone back and just left a message, said, whoever this is, when I find you, I'm going to kill you, whatever. Meanwhile, the GTG boys, their boy got killed, so they think Kane set him up to get ambushed. Game was over. Zeke did his thing. And now that he did his thing, he's going out to party. Meanwhile, Drew is calling Ev. Ev is not answering because he with his boys. He don't want his boys to know that he into that lifestyle. So Drew take it upon his stuff to still show up. And after the club, they're pretty much like, hey, let's Zeke like, let's run back to the dorm or whatever. So they're jogging back. In the process, Little Guap and his two goons show up with saying to Zeke, hey, let me get a picture. So he punched Zeke in the stomach. Zeke dropped. Lil Guap pulled a gun on him, basically like, yo, I'm going to blow his knee off. Drew was coming up the rear pretty much, and then Drew basically told Lil Guap, like, talking to him to try and talk him down, and pretty much he was like, well, look, just shoot me or whatever, because they know Zeke is the investment. Nevertheless, Lil Guap like, no, I know this will hurt Monet more. So Drew just rushed Lil Guap. Lil Guap got a shot off, but it just missed Zeke. And so Drew rushed Lil Guap, start pounding on him, beating on him, and then he would pull the gun. He was going to pull it, but then Zeke caught him, like, you know, basically telling him to chill. So he got himself together. And so at that moment, people know that Tariq called his mom. That's when he's like, Mom, somebody tried to kill me. And she pretty much was like, yo, you need to tell me everything or whatever. So he pretty much broke everything down to her, but it doesn't show that. But you could tell because she called Lorenzo basically like, yo, if you the king or you the boss, why you send a hit on my son? And he like, yo, I ain't send no hit on my son. What are you talking about? And so pretty much she like, well, why my son? Somebody tried to kill my son. So at that moment, he knew somebody's going against, you know, what they trying to have set up. So he called Monet, broke everything down to Monet. She talked to Drew and then basically told Drew he's a leader. He made some judgment calls, but, you know, Kane's out of pocket or whatever. And so they said pretty much Drew and Kane had a talk. And then Drew pretty much told Kane for him to get rid of the GTG crew once and for all. And then Kane pretty much was like, I was going to do that anyway. So they got Kane like a straight up goon or whatever. So now he's rogue though. So now he's going to kill the GTG. And he pretty much went to where their hideout is and he killed the two goons. But then when came to Little Guap, he didn't kill him. He pretty much was like, yo, I want 50% of everything you make. So that was like, you should have killed him. He can't be trusted. So, but nevertheless, he left him alive and then hit him in the nose. After he didn't already got beat all up by Drew. Now he hit him in the nose. And he hit him in the nose. And after he hit him in the nose, he pretty much was like, that's for my cousin. And so Kane showed up to the house pretty much and was like, Diana came out and pretty much was like, you know, Monet's made her mind up. You can't come into the house, you know, basically like you did to us or whatever. And so Kane looking like, yo, y'all chose Tariq over me. And they like, Diana like, nah, it ain't like that. You know, it's what you did against this family. But he taking it as y'all chose Tariq over me. And so she gave him some money and pretty much like, you know, be safe out there. And as he stepped off, he looked upstairs at the window and Monet was looking down at him. Diana was shedding some tears. Monet was looking down at him and then closed the curtain. And he pretty much just stepped off. So you know it's going to be a problem with that. And then the end result, it shows Professor Jabari. He's digging in deeper. He downloads the app with Tariq and them has been running. And it's going to be interesting to find out. Like, right now, it's writing up like Jabari is going to blow the cover over this whole thing. But I doubt that's what's going to play out. But Jabari is skating on thin outs. He going to mess around, get oxed though, or whatever. Or he going to become a surprising ally to Tariq. Because it was a moment where he could just told everything, but he didn't. So he could put it in the book. But it's going to be interesting how it plays out with Jabari. What else did I miss? Then you had a scene with Monet and Tariq pretty much. She told him that she didn't send a hit out for him. I know he don't trust her. And she pretty much said, Kane is out on his own. He rogue. I can't say that he ain't going to come for you in the streets. You got to protect yourself. If he come for you, by all means, you got my permission to do what you got to do. And I won't hold it against you. But if I find out you going after him, I'm going to come at you. So, Tariq, you know, basically she said, well, I got you. And then Tariq was like, we got each other. So that pretty much happened with that. And then Tariq and Braden had a fallout because he didn't tell him about Effie. He was getting money with Effie and selling coke on campus. Really was Effie, and Tariq just told her who to sell with. But Braden's sister was there with Trace. He was getting high. He was bleeding at the party, bleeding. His nose was bleeding at the dinner with the family. You can tell they just rich. The parents ain't even paying attention. Trace is high out of his mind. Braden is picking it all up. So now you're seeing the similarities of Braden and Tariq's relationship is similar to Ghost and Tommy's relationship, where Ghost was lying to Tommy. Tommy will find out Ghost was lying, and the betrayal is coming, and Tommy felt left out. So now Braden felt left out with Tariq. So really, Tariq is becoming more and more like his father that he hated so much, but he's starting to see all the things that his father was telling him or trying to keep him away from, the reasons why and stuff like that, because now he got his own stuff going on. So right now we got Tariq clap them cheeks to Effie. We'll see if he get a chance to clap Lauren or Diana. And if in my own scenario, I think Lauren is totally wrong for him. I think that's who the one that's going to be. When they say the one that's borderline and then one is definitely good for him, it's going to be questionable whether it's Diana or Effie or whatever. So Diana don't really, she seemed like she truly liked him and she wouldn't get him, but it's ironic going back a couple episodes back where he still, the gun that Diana took from him still hasn't been addressed. So you know, that was that's weird. Hopefully that comes back up in the last 2 episodes. But it was cool when it was Effie. Tariq was going to get busy. He had his gun, and then Effie she pulled out her little gun in her purse, and she was like, "You don't need your gun tonight. I got you." So that was hard. So nevertheless, decent episode. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, leave that comment. Till next time.